Welcome to Indigenous Voices. Candace, many refer to you as a leading Indigenous lady in tourism. What does that mean to you, and what is your mindset going into your job as a leader in product development?
Oh, this is the one I like to boast about. And why I say that is because for the two things that you mentioned, Indigenous and a woman.
Yes.
Those, like, when I say that those two words right now, like, I just feel I'm on a different plateau. I'm truly empowered. I'm clearing
Yes.
paths.
Yes.
And that's overall how it makes me feel. But product development, I think, has been such a rewarding experience. And I can see my growth over time. Like when I came into the GTA, I didn't even know fully what was product development. I had to learn, and I made a conscious decision. Your life can change with one decision, or the quality of your life is impacted by one decision, right? So when I came to this, I recognized that, hey, it's going to require a different set of skills from me. Skills that I now have to learn. I have to continuously work on improving, and I have to be a better person for it. And so, with those decisions made, I think it was my approach to my work, which is just with a bit of humility. Because for the communities that I worked with, it's understanding their way of life. It's not going in and saying, hey, I want you to do it this way. Unravel your whole society, unravel everything that you've known and do it my way. It's like, okay, this is your culture, this is your way of life. How can I take something else that you want, which is tourism, and now seemingly mix it all together and make it work for you? How can I empower you to see things bigger than yourself? And I think that has really been my gift. Really to help people to see that their home, their lives are special. Not to say that they don't, but from a tourism angle,
Yeah.
it is often challenging because this is the life they live, right? I'm going about my daily life, herding my cattle, or doing my farine, or just chilling in my hammock. Now I don't see that from a tourism perspective. You may not see the specialness of that until somebody points it out, and then you're like, oh well, this was just we just do this every day. There's nothing too serious about this. But then you show them that, hey, somebody who's not from your country, not from your region or your community, might just have renewed appreciation for all that you do. And I think of this in the context of, let's say, cassava bread making or farine, parching farine. The first time someone sees that process and understands the level of work that goes into it, they're forever changed.
Yes.
Something that we take for granted because we know we gotta eat it, right? But someone else be like, wow.
Yes.
Or like craft. Sometimes we tend to undervalue our skills or our creativity. And we sell the band for $1,000. And this thing took us a week or something else to make. And you don't see the value of it. And somebody says, hey, I can't pay you $500 for this. You spent 2 weeks doing this thing. This is not fair. So I think it's really immersion into this field. And I know without a doubt that this is what I was meant to do. Without a doubt. It took me a while to get here. I wish I had arrived sooner, but I often say, universe, when the time is right. When the
Yes.
time is right, the person arrives. So I really do hope that I have many more years of doing this because I think who I am as a person, my learnings from indigenous communities and the places that have impacted me, the people that have impacted my life. Like I've been so widely impacted by so many people. And I take all those lessons and I put it into something and I see something greater come out of it. A sum of all my experiences. And I think that's what product development represents to me. it's not only churning out products, but it's the quality of the product, something that's different for Guyana. We in the past 5 years have moved mountains than ever before. Product development has taken on a whole life of its own. It has created more expectancy. So maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, our relations with tour operators and the tourism sector was quite different. I don't think the expectation was great because most of the private operators used to do their own product development.
Yeah.
Now because of our consistency, because of the work we do, there's a lot more interest, a lot more people come to the GTA now saying, hey, we're launching this product, we want to do this, or we want to partner in this way. And those people are there. And I think it's really great to see the change over time and knowing that you can affect a process. You can move something from one level to the next through consistency, determination, of course, hard work. It takes a lot of hard work.
Truly.
I know in my photos, they don't tell about the hard work, right? They look like I'm just on another travel trip, taking photos, doing nothing else. But there's much more that goes on behind the scenes in terms of, when you're assessing a product. If the product is on a high mountain, in a low valley,
You
in the
gotta walk.
mud, in the rain, in the sun, wherever, through the rays of grass, wherever it may be, that's where we find ourselves. And I'm very thankful that, the work that I do is also supported by a team that is also very much, tourism is very close to our hearts. Let's just say that. We couldn't do this if tourism was not close to our hearts. We really do believe in tourism and the impact it can create for our destination, Guyana, and everything that we do. It challenges me to be creative. How not to bring the same thing that I did last year to the table this year? How can I think creatively and in a moment someone will come with an issue? And I think I've become so good at really thinking out things so quickly. Like, okay, if this can't happen, how can we do it a different way? And I think that's a learned skill.
Yeah.
But very appreciative for this journey. Like I wouldn't have it another way. When we're doing training, that we often tell communities is that not every attraction is a tourism attraction. And I think for us, we have to be able to set that kind of expectation because with over 200 communities in Guyana, if we all develop the same experience, we by definition become our own competitors,
Yeah.
right? So part of our jobs is now really making sure that there's, if you're in a geographic area, let's say we're in Region 8, the products that are developed for Region 8 have to be complementary, not necessarily competitive, in that we're creating the same thing. That is often our challenge. So now, when we learn about the communities, when we do the assessments, we have to be able to say, okay, Waipa, you will do birding. Chinapao, you will do rafting. Somebody else will do this. Because then you can create an overall itinerary where a guest can come and maybe do a 10-day or 12-day, whatever the time may be. But in that time, you're having different experiences happening as opposed to the same thing. And so that's where creativity comes in. You got to be able to also see different. And this is where you draw on your knowledge of what's happening in the country. So if you know their neighbor is already doing fishing, you'll be a bit reluctant to say, let's do more fishing, unless there is some specific species that they have that nowhere else the neighbor doesn't have, right? So it's being able to, one, I think it's in how you deliver that, how you engage the communities, and trust for communities is a very very big thing, right? You should
Yes.
know that, right?
Yes.
And so the relationships you build with them is so important. And so when you're working with communities, you have to be able to show them the process, but not be dictatorial about it. It's how you guide, it's how you provide the guidance of how, why Why choose A and not B? Why the blue door and not the red door? You know, and
Yes.
you show step by step. So maybe you don't do fishing, and you redirect them to say, you know what, your strength is agriculture. Let's do agritourism, and you
Okay.
work with them through that, so that people can be empowered in whatever it is. But I think it comes down to the art of the delivery, how you
Okay.
can show them, hey, this makes best sense for you because this is your strength, and this is what we talk about, um, strengths of particular locations or communities. And I think I've had a good run so far in terms of the experiences, because I've been able to bring in my overall experience from other places and be like, okay, this worked or this didn't work, or maybe we do it in this way. And also because you also have to be updated with the trends. So as
Yes.
much as stuff is happening in Guyana, you
Mhm.
have to be peeping across by Costa Rica or somewhere else to see what's happening over there. How can you take an idea like that and kind of like fix and fiddle with it until it becomes the Guyana scenario? So you're
Okay.
not taking something from outside and just plumping it down in
Yeah.
Guyana, but
Yes.
understanding our unique challenges. Of course, we're very special, right? Our unique challenges, and how do you
Yes.
make it work for the communities or the location that you're in or the system within which they are working. So it's really, when you're a product development officer, it's such a wide area. Like your knowledge of so many things have to be all in its little pieces. So
Mhm.
legislation, land rights, this rights, that rights, policies, different policies, policies related to the waterways, to fishing, to wildlife, open season, closed season, all manner of things have to be on point. Some days it's really tough. It's really tough to develop something that isn't there. Imagine building from zero
Yes.
and you have a timeline and people are expecting you to deliver. It is a lot of pressure. But I think when the community or a community member can say to you, hey, thank you, you've inspired me, or I didn't believe we could do this. And I've heard that so many times. And in those moments, I think I thank the big guy above and I say, thank you. Because you've also given me something, you've given me the strength, you've given me the wisdom and everything that I needed to be able to be just a vessel for the work that needs to be done. I always remember fondly from Region 1, I was going through what we call itinerary development. So we put together the package and we were going through a number of experiences and we were talking it out. And at the end of it, an elder, she came up to me and she's like, thank you. Thank you. I never saw my community in this light. And you helped me to see the beauty. And I think that's often the thing, right? And
Yeah.
you could take it from a community and you can also relate it to Guyana. We
Yes.
live it, we sometimes forget.
True.
This is where, whether or work through product development, whether you see it on a page like About to Travel or any other page, I think I'm really happy now that we're in a place where social media has become a thing for tourism,
Yes.
in that you're seeing a lot more images out there, you're seeing a lot more videos of people traveling. Be excited to share those and inspire a whole nation of people that Ghana is not just Georgetown, it's not Kaichor, it's not Oranduke, or the popular spots that we may know. It is an incredible expanse of land, some of which we haven't even touched. I mean, for all that I've done, there are so many gray areas in between, and I wish I could find every little crook and go into it and be able to see these. They said we have over or about 300 waterfalls. I wish I could see all of
Wow.
that, right? That would be like crazy. Um,
Yes.
but I
Wow.
think it's just having an appreciation for where you are. And I think all of us, no matter what type of phone you have, whether you got a fancy camera, a cheap one, whatever you may have, we have eyes.
True.
And
True.
I think we need to use them a little bit more and
Yes.
to see things differently. So it's like when I'm looking at nature, I tend to look, if I'm in a boat, I may look to see what does I want to look like at this very moment. What am I seeing? Is something reflecting there? Is there something wiggling there? I don't know. Then I look at the trees at the side of me. What are the various colors that you're seeing? And often you see an intonation of colors. And then I look up. What do the clouds look like on this particular day? How are those formations looking? The sun, how is the sun setting? So I think with renewed appreciation for what is around us, we can see something that is far more magical than we ever thought. And I think this land of ours is such a beautiful, beautiful place. Like beautiful is not even the word I want to use. It's stunning, it's captivating, it's mesmerizing to the person who wants to see it in its beauty. We have such a wonderful platform to explore our own country, to appreciate it. And I really do wish, through whichever platform you look at Guyana through, that you see how captivating she truly is and what a gem we have. Not to just saying it, but because it's actually true. And that we as Guyanese have such a role in taking care of what she remains or what she becomes. And I
Yes.
think that is kind of like the overall message, you know? And I think for me, to just wrap it up, it's basically that we all can make a difference.
Hmm.
And it really comes down to what difference we want to make.